If you have never really learned how to manage money, this video is going to fix that if you follow these simple steps. I'm going to walk you through money management for beginners, the basics nobody ever sat you down and explained. Whether you just got your first paycheck or you have been figuring out on your own for years, by the end of this video, you will have a clear picture of where to start and how to start. If you appreciate this type of content, gently tap that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Now let's dive into it. Alright, first up, and I promise this is more interesting than it sounds. Track every single dollar that comes in and every single dollar that goes out. Here's a fun little experiment. Right now, in your head, guess how much you spent last month on food. Got a number? Now go check your bank statement. Almost nobody guesses it right. And the gap between what you think you spend and what you actually spend is exactly where most people's money quietly disappears. This one habit, tracking every dollar, is the single thing almost every financially stable person has in common. Financial author Dave Ramsey put it simply: you have got to tell your money what to do or it will leave. And that's really what's happening when you don't track it. Your money isn't lost, it's leaving, one unnoticed charge at a time. So here's the move. For one full month, write down or use an app to log every purchase, coffee, subscriptions, rent, all of it. No judgment, no changes yet, just watch. By the end of the month, you will have a receipt for your entire life, and most people are genuinely shocked once it's all sitting there in one place. Those small, invisible purchases add up to hundreds of dollars a month, hiding in plain sight. You can't manage what you don't measure, and this is exactly where every beginner should start. Next, use the numbers you tracked to build a simple budget. One easy way to do this is the 50-30-20 rule. It means 50% of your income goes to needs like rent and groceries, 30% goes to wants like eating out or shopping, and 20% goes to savings or paying off debt. You don't need to be perfect here. The point is just to give every dollar a job before you spend it, so your money has a plan instead of just disappearing. And if your needs are taking up more than 50% right now, that's normal when you are just starting out. The goal for now is simply to know your number so you can start closing that gap over time. Now, let's talk about automating your savings because relying on willpower alone almost never works long term. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to a separate savings account on the same day you get paid, so the money moves before you even see it sitting there. As author James Clear puts it in Atomic Habits, habits are the compound interest of self improvement. A small automated habit today barely feels like anything, but repeated every single payday, it turns into real money over time. The fourth thing to focus on is paying down high interest debt first, especially credit cards. If you are carrying a balance at 20% or higher interest, that debt is growing faster than almost any investment could realistically grow your money. List out everything you owe, along with the interest rate and minimum payment for each one. Then attack the highest interest rate first while paying minimums on the rest. This is also often called avalanche method, and it saves you the most money over time, even if it's not always the fastest emotional win. Fifth, once high interest debt is under control, start building an emergency fund. Financial expert Suze Orman has said time is key to building financial security, and an emergency fund is exactly that. Time bought back for you when life goes sideways. Start small. Even $500 saved separately from your everyday spending money can stop a car repair or a medical bill from turning into new debt or credit card debt. Once you have built that first cushion, grow it over time toward 3 to 6 months of expenses. Next, once your debt is managed and you have got some savings cushion, start investing. Even if it's a small amount, you don't need thousands of dollars to begin. Many beginners start with as little as $25 or $50 a month into a low cost retirement account or indexed fund. Warren Buffett himself has said his life has been a product of compound interest, and that applies just as much to a beginner starting small as it does to a billionaire investor. The most important part isn't the amount, it's starting early because time in the market matters more than timing the market. Last one, and this gets overlooked constantly. Protect what you have built with the right insurance. This isn't the exciting part of money management, but skipping it can undo years of good habits in a single afternoon. At minimum, look into some form of cover suited to your country's system. And if anyone depends on your income, some form of basic life insurance. If you rent your home, contents insurance is usually cheap and covers your belongings if something goes wrong. Think of insurance as a seatbelt of your financial plan. You hope you never need it, but it's there, so one bad event doesn't erase everything else you have worked for. Hopefully, this video gave you a clear picture on how to start with your money management. Good luck with that, and I will see you in the next one.